Like rock hit subfire, learn big brain things with me.
Long ago, back when grass grew higher than a person's head and the fanciest restaurant in town was the cave with the fewest mosquitoes, I, a certified caveman, saw something stranger than a dinosaur doing ballet. The price of everything shot up like a rock catapult. Not because the gods were mad, not because a giant storm came through, but because we made way too many rocks. Yeah, rocks were money. A big shiny rock bought you a roasted hunk of meat. 2 rocks got you a new loincloth. 3 rocks? You could win the favor of the cave girl you liked, at least until she found out your pockets were empty. For a while, life was fine. We walked around with heavy rock purses and felt rich. Then one day, the chief, who fancied himself the tribe's first economist, stood on a boulder and proclaimed, "If we want everyone rich, we must make more rocks." The whole village cheered, "Ooga booga!" which basically means, "Sounds brilliant, do it." So the next morning, everyone grabbed hammers and started smashing at the cliff. I smashed until my hand swelled like a coconut. A week later, I trudged into the market with a sack of stones, grinning, ready to buy a roasted dodo leg. The seller looked me up and down, raised an eyebrow and said, "1 piece? 10 rocks?" My jaw dropped. "But yesterday it was 2, I sputtered. She shrugged. "Everyone's got rocks now. Rocks aren't worth much." I stood there like I'd been turned to stone myself. And then it hit me. Making more money didn't make anyone richer. It just made the stones less special. That, my friend, was the day I first heard of something the scholars later called inflation. Inflation isn't a beast that eats meat, it's worse, it eats value. That night I snuck into the cave where the so-called wise men hung out. You could always spot them by the fish bones. They wore like spectacles. One of them said, in a voice that tried to sound very smart, "When the supply of stones grows faster than the supply of things, each stone buys less." I nodded like I understood, but honestly my brain was busy with a better plan. If I make more stones than everyone else, I'll be rich. Spoiler, I wasn't. I just made the whole tribe equally poor. Fast forward to modern people, turns out they do the exact same thing, only classier. They don't smash rocks, they print paper. Whenever things look rough, someone in a suit says, "No problem, print more." Then prices soar. Bread goes up, coffee goes up, fuel goes up, but wages, they move like a tired turtle. Watching that, I remember my sore hand and my useless sack of stones. People blame each other. Buyers blame sellers. Sellers blame the government. Government blames the situation. Me, the elderly caveman in the corner chewing on a bone, I just shake my head and say, "It's not anyone's fault exactly. You folks just have too many paper rocks." They look at me like I'm mad. Maybe I am. But at least I get why a loaf of bread costs half a cave now. I remember the days a single rock bought you bread, then 2, then 10, then 50. Before long, you needed a cart of rocks for a single loaf. We joked and called it luxury bread, but nobody was laughing. Everyone was hungry. When stones stopped working, people got creative. Shells, nuts, promises. "I'll pay you after I hunt a mammoth," someone said once, and we still haven't seen that mammoth. Or that guy. Slowly, I learned something important. Value isn't in the rock. It's in the trust that other people will accept that rock. Lose that trust and the rock is just a heavy pebble. Modern people believe in paper with a nice old man's face on it. When trust wobbles, they run to gold, to shiny coins, or to silly internet tokens with dog pictures. But it's the same old song. When one thing loses value, people scramble to something else. There's another kind of inflation too. Emotional inflation. Back then, give someone a tuber and they'd be grateful forever. Now give them a phone and 5 minutes later it's so last year. Feelings lose value faster than money. I only say this because it happened to me. Yes, I was dumped for being low on rocks. After all this mess, I tried a different approach in the village. I told everyone, if you want roasted dodo, you have to bring the hunt. We won't accept stones. Suddenly, the price of a roasted dodo settled down. When people had to sweat for it, they appreciated its true value. I learned that real value comes from work and trust, not from the shininess of the thing you trade. Look at your world now. You still smash rocks, but on keyboards. You print, you pump money, you stimulate markets. It sounds smart and expensive, but the end result is the same. Bread gets more expensive, houses get further out of reach, and wallets feel as light as a dodo feather. If inflation is a monster, then trust is the chain that keeps it from running wild. If you keep believing that more money equals more happiness, someday your cave will catch fire. I look back at my time and then at yours. How different are we? I used to swing a hammer, you press keys. I thought rocks would make me rich. You think paper will save you. At the end of the day, we're all trying to swap our sweat for a decent meal. So next time someone grumbles bread costs so much, remember, the bread isn't the one that got greedy. Your rocks did. I sit by my fire, gnawing a bone, wind in the cave mouth, and I tell myself, next time someone says, print more money to make people rich, I'll toss a boulder in their wallet. Then I laugh, because nobody listens. People, in every age, like to believe that making more rocks will make them richer. But the truth doesn't change. The more rocks you make, the less they're worth. The most valuable thing you can keep is trust. And maybe, just maybe, a warm loaf of bread. This is my story. A caveman who once bought bread with rocks, who learned that no currency is stronger than the truth.
Fire wheel TikTok, me try understand modern world. Join tribe teacher, smash like rock, hit sub fire, learn big brain things with me.